Well, we're here. I have no Carafa to help me, so it's just me doing all the things. I'm like the Wizard of Oz behind the scenes by himself in a control room in quarantine still. But we're here. Welcome to the Medusas. It's me and the gang. We're here. We'll see who else shows up. Oh, could it be anyone else? Are we going to see I don't know. Jordan, give us a recap from what happened while I fix things.
Okay, so last we left off, we got to the Goliath village, found out that the other group of people are already there, and we're planning to send a big goblin army down to the village. So we were about to speak with them to stop them from doing that, and then head into the village to get the stone from Iron Talon, basically.
Indeed. So, as we pick up where we left off, Magnus, you and Trizzle had been waiting up the hill. Scrim, the goblin, did not return. You guys decided to kind of go back around, back across the valley, right? To where like Varna and everybody else was.
Didn't they meet with us?
That's what I meant. Yeah. You guys are across the valley from the camp, far away from the lake, and you've waited a while. Scrim has not returned. You're maybe a quarter of the way up the mountain trail where Magnus and Trizzle were waiting. So, what do you decide to do?
Well, so we're all together at this point.
Yes.
Thoughts? I mean, we've been waiting here this long. Why not just wait a little longer? But
Sure,
well, he had heard that there was another way we could go around, which that way you might be seen by Goliaths, but at least traveling with Goliaths, it isn't as bad to be seen by them.
I mean, I feel like that's a bad idea, but that's just me.
Because either way, Scrim had said that his goblin mother had planned to send this army into the camp. So if we are in the middle of a challenge and we see a bunch of little creatures like that come running in all hog wild with this group, God knows what else, we could have a massacre on hand. And I'm not talking about the Goliaths.
Yeah, they'll think that like we did this. So I'm thinking that maybe we can wait here a little bit longer for Scrim. I don't know. I just want to get through to them that like they can't send goblins down to our village, because that's dumb.
Genocide is bad.
That's true. Can anyone slip through the rocks that Scrim did?
I don't think anybody's that small.
I think I can.
Put your son through there.
Actually, no. Yeah, no. I thought about it for a second.
Lose my son in the wall?
You wouldn't lose him. He's a smart kid. Still not a good idea, though. It's okay. Not thinking about it.
Okay. Yeah, so
how long do we want to wait here is the better question, because...
I mean, haven't you already been waiting a long time?
Of course.
Plus, you don't know when... If he's even... Because he has to have gotten back up there by now. They can't be that far up. It's possible he's just not going to say anything. Or if he did tell her, she may not have listened. Because he was supposed to bring her down here.
Well, I mean, like, we would have noticed if they were, like, already going to where the Goliaths are. So, I mean, like, They haven't left yet. They're probably still there, which means they're probably discussing something. And
Or I thought they were waiting for him to keep scouting because that's what he was down there for. He was hiding in this bush to scout. So I don't know if he got all the scouting they needed or
He didn't
because
though.
remember
Magnus.
we had said something. He was trying to figure out where Iron Talon was.
Right, and we didn't tell him. Magnus promised that if Scrim brought us to the other group that Magnus would tell, like we would tell them everything that we need to know. So
Areia, make a perception check. Actually, Magnus and Areia.
18.
ooh, 18.
Something's moving up the trail. Like you feel like you heard just like a little bit of a skittle of like rock and dirt. Maybe 60 feet up the trail.
Do we have any idea what kind of creature made the noise?
Well, so you look up there, having dark vision. You see rocks. You see some scrubby kind of trees and bushes growing up the trail, but you don't see any movement at this point.
Well, I'll go check it out.
Are you stealthily checking it out? And
I'm-
are you going by yourself or are you bringing anyone?
I'll whisper, I'm going to go check it out. And
Okay.
then
As
stealth.
Magnus whispers that, I'll cast guidance on Magnus.
Okay, make the stealth check with guidance.
Okay. That's a 20. Oh wait, hold on. Guidance is plus D4, right?
Yes.
That's 30.
Good Lord.
I'm
Good
very
Lord.
stealthy today.
Okay, here's the thing. You stealth up there. You get up to where you thought you heard the sound. And you see a larger boulder, but then behind it you see another like boulder. But then you look closely. You look closer with your elf eyes. And it's not another boulder. It's a humanoid figure crunched down into like a squatted position. Now, what fooled you initially was that this is a humanoid figure that is gray. And from your perspective, also naked and has no hair. But it is scrunched down like in a like totally squat fetal position with its arms covered over its head. No hair on its body. But it's not moving and you can't quite see its face. And it definitely doesn't know you're there with that 30 stealth. So it's about 15 feet away from you. What do you do?
I'm going to approach him stealthily.
As you approach, the figure looks up. You notice the face of this figure. This is not a human. Sort of the closest guess that you would say might be something like a human or a half-orc, but not like anyone that you've ever seen before. It has a tight muscular frame with gray skin and no hair, no hair on its head, no facial hair, no body hair at all. And its skin is a very ashy gray. It has a large lower jaw with an underbite that protrudes and a large prominent brow.
Gross.
So imagine kind of like a Neanderthal, like a hairless gray Neanderthal. And it doesn't stand up and it doesn't act aggressively, but it kind of looks up out at you. And it says, Kanashkate Ishka.
Hi, buddy.
What is that?
Anishkanak Unak.
So I
Ani-
can't communicate with him at all, huh?
he points to himself and he says, Anishkana Unak. Quanaktike. Quanaktike.
Magnus.
Nice.
Agnes. Ishkawakanus Mishka. Giant. And he points down towards the lake in the camp.
Are you going to the giants?
Unak Mishkawa Anuk Sharsain. And he points again down there.
Oh no. You come with me?
He slowly stands up. You notice he's unarmed, no weapons. He is clothed. He's wearing a loincloth. And by the way, it's cold. Remember how I said, like, you guys are up in the mountains and it's cold? He doesn't
Yeah.
seem fazed by this. He's wearing a loincloth like it's summertime. He has no boots, no shoes, a loincloth. That's it. Just a flap of some animal skin that covers his junk. That's all. And as he stands up, by the way, he is shredded. He's got like an 8-pack. Like every muscle in his body is defined. He has like 1.5% body fat.
Okay.
As he stands up to full height, you see that he's about 6'4", but again, with a very slender, muscular build. No body hair. He's like cautiously steps forward and he like looks around and then he just Magnus.
Una.
And he follows you.
Okay. I'm gonna go in the direction of the group.
Okay. Hey, the group. Like a minute later, you see Magnus like kind of, casually walking down the trail towards you guys with a 6'4" gray humanoid with a huge prominent brow and a massive underbite who's naked except for a loincloth. Following Magnus.
Manners.
Should we even be surprised at this point?
Your surprise is enacted when you see this figure and this thing, person, creature, does not bear any resemblance to any race you've ever seen. Ever. In your life on this continent.
Magnus? Did you make a new friend?
I did. This is Unak. And then I'll point to each person. Areia, Capella, Bullstrong.
What's an Unak?
Hi.
He's a nice guy.
That doesn't answer my question.
He was like literally just like crunched up like a rock.
You notice that he's looking at Areia and Bullstrong and Varna like, wait, did you guys bring Varna and Storm or are they waiting back by the camp spot?
I think we brought them.
Okay. So basically he's looking at the Goliaths and he doesn't look scared, but he's like, Magnus Aquishkama.
They're friends. They're Goliaths, but they're friends.
Ooh, friends. Mishkawa Sharsain.
Anyone?
He looks at, you notice he looks at Trizzle, like kind of curiously. And he points to Trizzle and he says, Washkina Fainup Ufu Mash? And he points to like his head. Ufu Mash? Mosh?
Drizzle.
He's probably asking what happened to his horns. There's
I
not a
know.
lot of
How am I supposed to
at
say
the
that?
horns.
No wash kita. Umash?
Drizzle has no horns.
Can I do like a scissor gesture? Like,
Oh.
So we don't recognize this language at all, right? Bummer.
All right, so why is he here?
Because I
Okay.
found him.
Do you know what he was doing?
He was crouching behind a big rock.
why'd you have to every single thing that's I mean, this one's fine. At least he seems useful.
Useful? You shouldn't look at people like, oh, are they useful or not? That ain't it.
When we're trying to like save the world, yeah.
He's
I mean,
pretty cool.
I'd rather have him with us than some little creature. But
Hey, little dude's cool too.
Is he part of the same group as the other guys, maybe?
Maybe.
how are we going to?
Can you ask it? I don't know. Ask him about mantra. No, about Scrim. Does he know who Scrim is?
Okay, I'll look at him and say, do you know Scrim?
Mishka Swu Scrim?
Scrim. Little tiny guy.
Big ears, tiny.
Does he have a group?
Ah. Ishku Suba. Mish. And he points up the mountain.
Are you going up the mountain?
Unak Washkati Sharsain. And he points towards the camp.
Okay. So,
That's a bad idea.
That sounds like a name, like he's looking for somebody.
I don't know. So, well, Sharsane definitely has something to do with the Goliaths.
Well, the goblins are up there. He's trying to go there. Did they tell him? Does he know Chief? Are you looking for big giant?
Iron Talon.
Ashkiwoba. And he points to Bullstrong.
Is that the chief?
Meshko. And he kind of looks around. And he slowly approaches Areia and he points to one of Aria's white braids. Ish. Moash. Ego Ayuka.
Oh, yep, that's it. You got it.
That's the man.
That's the guy.
Yeah, so should we go, if the goblins went up that way, should we go up there first and then down, or should we just go down?
Unak Watoka. Sharsain Mishku An. Ayuka.
So, do you want to fight?
Ayuka.
Ash.
That's a bad
That's a
idea.
yes. Well, why?
Ashwani Sharsain Mo. And he kneels and he says, Unak wa Sharsain Mo. Iba Arakazin.
Wait,
Sharsane, your master?
Unak wa Sharsain. Ibo Arakazin.
wait. Do you know? Lord, do you know Fanoop?
He said,
Didn't other
Wow.
Fanoop?
Iwa Fainup. Mesh wa Be Sharsain Mik Ayuk Ino Ebo Arakazin.
Yeah, because I guess, I don't know if he's with the other group or, remember, Arfanoop had told us that the other group has their own dark-haired Fanoop, and he has some, like, rock creature thing that's indebted for life to him, which I guess is, this is that,
Okay.
I would assume. But
Okay.
that's also not a good thing, because if he's indebted for life to him, he might want to kill us.
Hey, he
Unak.
seems really cool.
Unak Be Arakazin.
He's
Is he from
from-
there?
That would make sense why we have
Okay.
never seen his race if it's from
Right.
Arakazine.
Right.
Go back
Go back to Arakazine?
the void.
Bish Ebu Arakazin. Unak Bish Ebu
He
Arakazin.
wants to go through the portal
the
back to Arakazine.
Oh.
I see.
Yo, that makes so much sense.
That's what the other
Unak Washarsin. Bish Ebu Arakazin. Mo Sharsin Gaba Ayuka.
So this Sharsane guy is going to get the stone from Iron Talon and use it to open the portal? I think is what he's saying.
You need
Which means-
Ayuka to open.
Oshka. Misa.
All right, so
Giant.
How can we convey to them that there is too many giants to just walk in there and fight the chief? That because even if he just walks in there and tries to fight the chief, he's gonna get slaughtered or taken as prisoner. How do you?
I mean, we don't know his fighting capabilities.
Okay, but you also don't want him to kill, because if you fight the chief and don't challenge him, all the Goliath tribe will fight you. Which means he's going to kill several innocent Goliaths if he goes in there to fight the chief as an outsider.
So we are going to fight Ayuka. But
Mosh.
we have to get to Sharsane. So Unak, take us to Sharsane.
Mosh. Abba.
Okay.
And he like starts walking
Thank you.
like down the
Party.
trail.
All right.
Wait, so we're
Walking
not.
down the trail.
Wait.
We going to the camp?
You ever convey?
I guess we're
someone
leaving.
who does not speak your language.
Varna looks up at you and she says, Bullstrong. Don't get us killed.
Oh, okay.
No pressure.
Good plan.
Yeah. So wait. Last call. Are we telling the goblins not to attack, or?
Well, we can't. Like, the
Yeah.
only way we could.
We
Trizzle
have to
says,
go.
Trizzle can help. Trizzle could relay this message. Trizzle could go up the path and sneakily secret and send messages in whispers to the goblins. Trizzle speaks goblin. Trizzle can help. Then Trizzle can come back and meet up with friends.
That's a brilliant idea, Trizzle.
Thank you,
You
Trizzle.
should-
Even if he gets in trouble, you could call him back to us if they try to.
Yes.
Trizzle, are you able
But-
to send a message to Magnus, even if we're really far apart?
No. But Magnus could summon Trizzle.
But how would I know if you're in trouble?
We'll say,
Trizzle says, Trizzle has an idea. Trizzle will make fireworks in the sky. This, if they are red, will mean trouble.
Okay,
And then
red fireworks.
Magnus will summon Trizzle back.
Okay.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
go
Thanks,
find
Trizzle.
the goblin called Scrim who you saw, or any of them, and just get them not to fight. And then come back.
Trizzle will do this for friends. Off
Thank
Trizzle
you.
goes. Yes. And
See you, Drizzle.
he starts jottering up, kind of skipping up the hill. You guys begin follow. Are you going with Unak?
I suppose so.
I guess.
Can somebody convey to him not to just walk in there and start like just beating the chief into a pulp?
Hey, Magnus,
Mm-hmm.
we gotta tell him to be sneaky, like be very quiet.
Okay. Unak?
You're good at charades.
Am I though? Unak. We need to be quiet when going to the Goliaths.
Unak Gabish Mesho, and he points to Capella. No Gabish Kiba. Ching 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 ching.
You're right.
You just got roasted in a language you don't understand.
Unak wa Magnus Kebo Asu Ibo Eshka Giant Iba Capella Nekwa. Ooh, ooh. Ika, Baba.
He wants you guys to stay back if you're very loud.
You too, you're giant.
Yeah, me too. Hey, I didn't say not me. I just said,
Unak me Magnus wo I ubu naskeba.
Okay.
Naskeba. And
Okay.
he starts like crouch stealthing along kind of up front with Magnus. So how far back do you guys give as lead room for Magnus and Unak?
maybe
20
like,
feet?
yeah, 20 feet.
Okay. All right. Stealth roll. Unak. Okay.
Do we stealth roll? Everybody stealth roll?
I want just Magnus and Unak to make the first stealth roll. What'd you get?
27.
That's more than sufficient. All right. So you guys kind of get through the valley floor and basically make it up to the perimeter of the lake, kind of halfway to the camp. Now the stealth rolls will begin. So as you're kind of going through the bushes and foliage and the tree line around the lake, you're going to be sneaking closer to the camp. So everybody make the first round of stealth checks. Oh, sorry, one more question. Are Varna and Storm Mountain going this far up, or are they staying by the lake?
I feel like they shouldn't, but it's not really my call.
Yeah, I
They
feel like
wanna
that's
be there
both.
for something like this momentous of an occasion.
It's up to Bullstrong and Varna. Obviously, let's ask Varna. She's a strong, independent woman.
I mean, it would be good for her to come. I
Varna,
thought Tuesday was gonna help us with the chief, right?
Varna, are you comfortable coming with us with Storm, or do you want to stay behind?
She's like, I have an idea. I might split off. I
Wait,
can
what's-
sneak up because I'm a hunter, but I'm afraid Storm might be noisy. So maybe if we can make it to the perimeter, I could bring him to my mother's tent.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
Grandma.
All right. So everybody make stealth checks.
Yes. Guidance on Capella.
Was that a plus? It's
Plus
a
a D4.
so with
27.
disadvantage, is it okay? Hmm.
16. Not bad.
That's a pretty firm Jenny.
That's an 8.
Even with guidance?
Yes.
All right, so here's what happens. You guys are like making the trek along, and Capella, you slip on like a slippery patch of mud, and you splash a leg into the edge of the lake.
All right.
Everybody stops for a moment. Magnus and Unak are like 60 feet ahead, and Unak like whips his head back and he's like, Gosha. Eesh. And he begins like skulking, continuing forward. All right, second round of stealth.
Guidance again. Please roll better.
I'll try.
Unak clocking in with a hearty 22.
18.
17. I'm rolling good on stealth checks.
11.
Ooh, it's higher than a 10. Congratulations.
Miracle.
You guys get to the perimeter of the camp. Now, remember, this is like middle of the night. It's dark. Varna stops and she has like Storm kind of half asleep, cradled in one arm. And she leans over to you, Bullstrong, and she's like, don't be stupid. And then she kisses you and she skulks away towards one of the tents. Unak leans over to you, Magnus, and is like, Ibash, Maku, Sharsain. Iua.
Look out. Do you see anything so far? I don't see anything.
You see,
Ahead.
kind of points towards the center of the camp. All right, next round of stealth checks.
Guidance again.
Guidance on Capella.
Yes. Because that's the only way we'll make it through.
Unak with a inferior 17.
Disadvantage?
19.
What?
No, you
14.
don't have armor.
Did you say 13?
Ah, I almost dropped it.
Nice.
15. Wow. Good guidance.
You guys are about halfway into the camp. You're kind of moving in a sort of zigzag, going from like dark, empty tents from one to the next, trying to avoid like tripping over people's like firewood and just random things that are kind of out in their general yard area. And you're spread out kind of in a 20-foot spread as you're kind of gradually moving forward. And at this midpoint, like you hear people like snoring in their tents, you know, but like up ahead, you can kind of see past another layer of tents. You can kind of see like the glow of the central fire. And you guys, Areia and Bullstrong, like you guys know that this is where there's going to for sure be guards, because that central fire is kind of in the middle of where the chief's tent and the shaman's tent and kind of some of the other major tents are located. So you know that there's bound to be people who are awake there. Magnus, you and Unak are a little bit further ahead. And you see 20 Goliaths, not just sitting around a fire. You see them kind of in a circle by the fire talking, and there seems to be like some kind of conversation going on. And then you see like a bunch of them start to split off with weapons in a jog, like in every direction, going out in a radius
God.
of the central fire. And they're like actively like running out.
Are they coming in our direction?
And you notice that they have like torches and weapons. Yeah, there's like 2 of them. Out of the 20, there's like 2 heading in your general direction.
Okay, I
But
poke
it seemed like they were
Unak and
all
go.
having some kind of meeting, and then they just fanned out. And they're not like trying to be quiet either. You hear them. They're like, you check that way and wake up the others. And like you hear some other like orders being barked off.
I haven't seen any red fireworks, right?
Nope. You looked over your shoulder, haven't seen anything.
Okay, I nudge Unak and go. Do you see that?
You see Unak sees the guards coming, and he like rolls over towards someone's like firewood, and he takes some dry dirt and just throws it over himself and kind of like cleans up between the firewood and a tent.
Okay, I
What do you
turn
do?
back and signal to everybody.
Okay.
I can't say anything because I don't want to be loud, but like I mouth get down.
You guys see you see Magnus like warning you, get down, get down.
Is there a
Capella,
good
what do
spot?
you do?
I'm gonna drop just flat to the ground because I'm not stealthing.
I'm a wood elf, so I can hide pretty well, right? Because
Yeah.
we're in like a foresty sort of area. So
Yeah, you have advantage if you want to hide.
okay, I'm gonna hide.
Okay. Let's make a stealth check with advantage.
Glad it's advantage. 20.
Easily.
Mhm.
Capella, what do you do? And then Bullstrong and Areia, what do you do?
Oh, you guys have to hide because both of you like can't. You especially can't be here.
I'm gonna
So-
try to hide. I'm not good
Yeah.
at it.
Is there a good spot for them
All
to
right.
hide?
Make your stealth checks.
And I have a question.
Yes.
When Bullstrong was kicked out, there was nothing about me not being allowed back, right?
Right. He was straight up banished.
Right. But I'm still allowed. I would think that I'm still allowed to be there.
Yep.
Okay. So
Did you happen to do guidance?
I assume that every time we're in the camp, I'm casting guidance on you because you're wearing heavy, clunky
Yeah, that's
armor.
fair. That's consistent.
Because I know that you're really bad at this stuff.
10. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. Well, I suppose I will try to hide. I will try to hide like opposite of where Capella is so that if people start looking for her, then I will come out of hiding.
All right, make the roll. Bullstrong, what was your roll?
19.
Okay.
Sneaky
I got a 16.
Capella, what'd you have?
I had a 10 with guidance.
You guys are clustered, but like not all together, but kind of spread out in this one area. Each one of you has tried to find a spot where you can kind of conceal yourself, whether next to a tent or by a pile of stuff or wherever you could. And you could hear two of the guards coming closer. And then you hear one of them say, "Who is that? Who goes there?"
At that point, I will get up.
And just before you get up, you hear the voice of Varna.
Oh.
And she says, "It is I, Varna, the hunter." And you guys see, like 20 feet away from you, Varna walking towards them calmly. And she says, "I'm unarmed." And they say, "You, what are you doing back here? Come with us." And she says, "I will come peacefully." And she starts walking towards the center. And they kind of like go up to her, and you could notice that they're like very suspicious, and they're like looking at her. And one of them shoves her forward, and they start walking towards the main fire. After a few minutes, you guys can hear like a few whistles, and you see other guards and like their torches, kind of everybody regrouping towards the center. And you hear like voices, and they seem to be like shouting, and you're not quite sure what they're saying. What do you do?
I look at Do I see Magnus at all?
Yes.
Okay, I'll try to mouth to Magnus like, are we still following Unak around the camp? Okay.
And then I'm gonna
Magnus, make a perception check.
Okay. 17.
You look over and you're like, "Unak." Unak's gone.
What do you mean he's gone?
You look where he was, and he's not there.
Oh no. I'll say Unak.
What do you guys do?
Are there tracks? I'll sneak up to where Magnus is.
You want to make an investigation check?
Yeah.
Can I make an investigation check
Yeah,
as
I'll
well?
help Magnus look. So Magnus, you can have advantage. I'll help you look for tracks.
Thank you.
Cool.
26.
Okay. You see the bare footprints, the rather large feet, long feet, bare footprints of Unok, leading in a zigzag pattern towards the center of the camp by the fire.
Let's do what?
Is everyone back up with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all see this?
I told you.
We
Go
gotta
in.
move.
What are we doing? I need to talk to the shaman. Should I just get up right now and say that I need to talk to the shaman?
But we gotta get Unok, because we don't know what his plans are.
Yeah, I
He's
guess
gonna
you're
get
right.
captured. Like,
But if something goes wrong or you guys start getting like almost spotted, I will jump out like Varna did and demand to speak with the shaman. But
Okay.
let's find Unok, please.
Okay.
You guys gonna try to get closer?
Yeah.
Make one more stealth check.
Guidance, Capella, please.
Oh no.
guys.
I sucked.
I got a 15.
12. I literally rolled a 2.
We're not.
No!
We're not.
Oh,
No!
We're
No!
I'm sorry.
no.
Oh
I didn't
no!
say that.
Oh,
So here's what happens. You guys
it's
are
over.
like, you're trying to stealth, and it's harder to be stealthy as you're getting closer because there's more ambient light from the fire and there's more people close by. And you're getting closer and you're like 2 tent lengths away from the center where you could see Varna is now surrounded by a group of guards. And you see the shaman is there. And he's like, he seems to be asking questions, and Varna is like, you know, talking back to him and stuff. And as you guys are going up, Capella, you ever so gently trip over a piece of wood. And then a whole pile of wood collapses and makes an enormously loud sound. And literally everyone stops and looks over in your direction.
Oh my god!
Okay, at that gesture, I will stand up and I will walk forward like Varna did.
Describe your approach, Jordan. Are you trying to be intimidating, peaceful? Like, what's your overall like mood as you're approaching?
Hands up, so I don't have my weapons on me. Peaceful, but I look like I'm there for like a reason, because I am there for a reason. And I'm more walking towards Varna than I'm walking with my hands up.
6 of the guards turn, and they're like, you hear them like whispering. They're like, it's Areia. And like the shaman like looks out and he says, Areia. The chief finds out, he will be most gravely angered.
We came because we need to speak to you. I have a very urgent matter that I need to speak to you about.
You notice the guards like look at the shaman and like look back at you and like look at the shaman. And the shaman is like, let her come. Speak with me, but speak quickly. Iron Talon is returning soon.
Okay.
What is the meaning of this return? And you notice he kind of meets you halfway. So you guys, you and the shaman are standing together about 15 feet away from like the edge of the tent line and the fire. And the guards still have Varna surrounded. They're closer to the fire. And he walks over to you and he's like, what is the meaning of this? Why have you returned?
We've returned because I believe that Bullstrong was banished on false pretenses, and I have the proof.
Is it your intent to challenge Iron Talon? That is the only way that you will redeem Bullstrong. You know this.
I do, but I wanted to talk to you so that I would have a witness to prove that my claims are true and accurate.
What proof do you speak of?
I speak of Iron Talon's appearance. You and I both know that he looked different many years ago, and I believe that when he was sent on his journey to possibly become the chief, that he sabotaged Bullstrong, and then it had the power of the stone that he found, which enhances his abilities.
You know this for certain.
I do, because my companions and I have come across another being who exhibits the same physical altercations that Iron Talon has been through. And if that's the case, then the duel that he and Bullstrong had was not a fair fight. But I need you to prove it, because I know that your magic is very capable, and you would be able to tell if he is being enhanced by this power.
I can do this, though I have expended much of my magic this very evening, dealing with another issue. I have detected strong emanations of magic coming from Iron Talon. I had always assumed that it was a blessing of the Oracle, but now what you speak of may reveal some truth. There is still a great danger in making this accusation, you know. As chief, he has the right to make the final decision. And if we make this accusation, there is no going back. If I stand by you, that means either you or I must fight Iron Talon. I am too old for that combat.
I am prepared to fight Iron Talon because I know what he's doing is wrong, and I know that what he's done to my friend is irredeemable in the eyes of our honor system.
Very well. Now there is something I must ask you. Are you in any way behind the arrival of these strangers into the camp earlier this night? The
No,
human and the half-orc.
I know of them just recently, having learned of them as we came here. We discovered that there were other people here, and it was our intent to stop them from coming into the camp, but it seems that they already have.
Well then. I will summon Iron Talon.
Before you go, one more question. Would it be, let's say that I had my friends nearby somewhere, would it be a wise decision to have them join me in the camp or keep them far away?
No, they should not be in the camp. It would only bolster support for Iron Talon. This must be a pure and fair challenge. He turns and he walks towards his tent. And he goes in. He's in there for about 2 minutes. And then he comes out and he looks to the guards and he says, "Release her. Summon the elders." And the guards are like in shock. They're like, "What?" And he's like, "Summon the elders." And they kind of disperse and they start running off to tents. And you notice with all the noise that like other people are coming out of their tents, and you hear a lot of like, "What's going on?" Murmur, murmur. And And you're standing there, and the shaman turns back to the flap of his tent, and you see Iron Talon come out. And he looks across the open space. The firelight's like flickering across his face. And he looks at you, and his eyes just glowing green. And he's just full on intimidation mode. A few moments later, guards, elders, other people from the tribe kind of begin coming into this circle. And as more and more people come, like once there's like a core group of 60 people kind of circled around this big area, the shaman says, Areia has returned. She has claimed that Iron Talon has committed a falsehood to the tribe, and that his challenge and defeat of Bullstrong was untrue. And there's like murmurs, like there are people like, murmur, what? Blasphemy! Ah! And they're like, people are like losing their mind, and like you get hit by like a tomato, like you're like, ah. And the shaman's like, quiet! By the rights of the tribe, and in the eyes of Ayuk, who sits atop the mountain, Areia has invoked a challenge upon Iron Talon. Iron Talon steps forward, and he's about 10 feet away from you. He stops. And he says, well, speak your challenge. And he looks at you.
I will say, I know, as well as you know, that your fight with Bullstrong was not honorable. You're a liar and you're a cheater. You've consumed the Fang of Ayuk, which grants you power over other people. That does not constitute a fair fight. I know this, you know this, the shaman knows this.
He's like, veins are like rippling in his neck and in his like forehead, and he's like he starts turning like just wrathfully anger. And he's like, you have no proof! I was blessed by the oracle! And he screams, and people are like, oh. And the shaman says, what she says is true. Ayuk has guided my vision. Iron Talon emanates a magic that no man should wield or possess. You see Iron Talon turn and give the glare of death to the shaman. And then he looks back at you and he smirks. So be it. Your challenge is accepted. Burn the circle! And he walks off to his tent, and you see like the Goliaths lose their shit, and they just start cheering. And they're like, yeah! And they start digging out the circle in the dirt. And it's like a flashback as you guys watch as they dig out the circle in the dirt, and they start bringing casks of oil over to fill the circle. The shaman goes over to you and he says, you do intend to use a weapon to fight him, don't you?
Yes, I have my warhammer, unless there's something better for me to use.
I do not know if your warhammer...
Orc Smasher is always available.
Where are we?
Yeah, where are you guys?
So you're watching all this, like you're hiding behind tents and stuff, like watching this from like 40 feet away.
Okay.
I can get another weapon if I'm allowed to have a few minutes.
Of course.
But I must also ask, is there no way to make this fight more fair? We've established that he is bolstering himself magically. Is there any way to make the fight fair? Because you and I both saw what happened last time.
I may be able to exert some of my blessings upon you. I don't know the strength of what magic I have left, for as I mentioned, I had to use a significant amount of my powers to ensnare and imprison those two interlopers earlier, who are now captured and being guarded in my tent. But I will do my best to bless you.
Okay, then I will take a few minutes and I will return.
While we're taking...
At this time, Varna comes up to you and she's like, Areia, I might have a weapon for you if you wait here. Why don't you wait here and I'll go see if I can find a weapon, something that we
Sure.
could smash with.
Right.
She's like, and you see she kind of like darts off amongst the tents. About a minute later, you guys are all like crouched and you hear Varna come up behind you and she's like, hey. Bullstrong, she pokes you in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Areia needs that big maul. She's about to fight Iron Talon.
I guess she could use it.
Well, what are you gonna do? Have her not use it?
Yes.
Yeah, no, did you have to attune to it?
Okay, she can have it.
Quick question: do we see Unok anywhere?
No.
Okay.
Capella, you mentioned something about attune to it. And it occurs to you that Bullstrong has spent a significant amount of time with Orc Smasher.
Hmm.
Magnus, make a perception check.
I don't know
Right.
what that means.
17.
You do not perceive until your shoulder is tapped upon.
Oh,
Then when you turn around, you see Unok crouched behind you.
Unok.
And this time he's holding something. You see Unok is holding what looks like a short spear. The metal blade of the spear extends all the way down. It's not a wooden handle with a metal blade. It's entirely metal. And the metal looks different from iron. It's kind of a dull gray with a little bit of a greenish tint to it. Make an intelligence check.
Straight intelligence. 16.
You've seen this kind of metal before. Several times.
Wait. Oh. Is it the same metal as that? Wasn't there an arrow that was made out of a similar metal, right?
Yes.
Nice. It's somewhere in my notes, but I'm not a good note taker because it's all over.
You also remember when you guys were teleported from the Mantirum, that the spot that you were teleported from and the spot that you were teleported to had a strange metal disc embedded in the stone ground that was made of this same metal.
Was it the same metal that one weird knife that from the B Team episode was?
Yes.
Arachazine metal?
So Unok is holding this spear and he says, Washday. Gut. Gut. Mishkawa Aki Ayuka.
Do you want to stab Ayuka? Or Areia stab Ayuka?
Unak Bate Areia. And he
Oh.
hands, he looks at the spear and he points towards Areia.
Do you want...
And he looks at Bullstrong and Varney. And he kind of holds the spear out.
Well, because I'm not sure if Areia would need to, I don't know if he attuned to it or not, but if she would be able to use this or if the spear, because I know she uses the Warhammer usually, so the Orc Smasher might be similar, but this does seem like a very interesting metal. I'm not sure if this might be very powerful.
I think we should go for it, but that's just me.
He hands the spear and he points to Areia. Varna takes the spear and she's like, should I give Areia both?
Let her choose,
Yes.
I suppose.
Could you let her know? I mean, like she knows what Orc
I
Smasher
keep,
is.
like coming back here to you guys. They don't know you're here. They can't know that you're here.
Yeah. Could you just tell her like what the spear is though? Like it's from Unak.
Yeah.
Made out of a special kind of metal.
Okay. So she
Thank
takes Orc Smasher and the spear, and then she circles back around and goes the long way. A couple minutes later, Areia, Varna runs up, and you see in one hand, over her shoulder, you see Orc Smasher. And then in another, you see this spear. And you recognize the spear as being that same metal that was the arrowhead that had been embedded in Bullstrong's head had been made of, the one that didn't rust. And you also recognize it as the same metal on the metal emblem in the teleportation circles. And Varna comes up to you and she's like, I don't know which one of these you want. Maybe you need both. She says, this spear is solid metal and it's really light and well balanced. I don't know if it's magical or not, but that Unak thing offered to let you use it. And then there's Orc Smasher. So she hands you both of them.
Do I get a feel for which one? Like, I know that the spear was the same metal that incapacitated Bullstrong. Would I have any inkling at all of which one might be better for fighting a giant Goliath?
This is one of those rare times in role-playing games, people, where a die roll is not going to decide anything. This is human decisions. As you are weighing your options, literally holding two weapons, the shaman calls you over. Areia, it is time. Come to the circle. You approach the circle. You enter the circle. The shaman is in the middle. Everybody's like murmuring and talking is quieting down. And the shaman says, the challenge has been issued and accepted. One person will leave this circle alive, and that person will be the chief. All shall respect the circle. We are watched in the eyes of Ayuk and judged on the manner in which we live and the manner in which we die. In the eyes of Ayuk, both of these warriors shall be judged. Let it begin. And you see him step out of the circle. He steps out of the circle, and emerging from the chieftain's tent is Iron Talon. His body swathed in oil, slick with oil. Wearing nothing but his boots and pants. His muscles rippling. And slung in one hand over his shoulder, you see Bullstrong's massive great axe. And he strides into the circle and now stands across from you, glaring at you. You guys are staring at each other for a few moments. And then the shaman yells, "Light the fire!" And you hear, and the ring of fire, the oil lights up and the fire shoots up initially, and it's burning around you. You feel the heat as you and Iron Talon are in the center of the fire. You see Iron Talon take a good grip on Bullstrong's great axe. You see he's looking at you as if he's waiting for you. Which weapon are you holding?
I look at both of them and I take Orc Smasher and I throw it outside of the ring and I take the spear and I say, "This is the metal that was impaled in Bullstrong's head. Let's see how it feels impaled in yours."
Oh, snap. All right, make an intimidation check first.
Wow.
Also, how far away are we from the circle?
Easy fight.
You guys watching are like, you're only like 30 feet away from the edge of the circle,
Okay.
but there are like 10 rows deep of Goliaths who are standing. So like you basically can't see.
Can I move to a spot sneakily where I can see?
You could try to climb up onto a tent, but I'm going to tell you that this would be a disadvantage stealth check because these tents aren't made to hold a lot of weight on them. So if you wanted to get like high ground to be able to see over everyone's heads, that's the only thing you could do in the area.
I'll try it.
Also, I'm gonna just be hiding in the tent, praying real hard for Areia, Tuvu's sake, just like clutching that stone, just really praying for her.
26.
Okay. You like stealth and like spread your body weight out, and you're basically like barely balanced on top of a tent, but now you could see over the crowd of the Goliaths, and you could actually see Areia and Iron Talon are in the circle. Areia,
Gotcha,
what did you get
Areia.
for intimidation?
11.
Okay, so that wasn't super intimidating, but you know what? Style points. I'm going to give you a point of inspiration because I don't do that a lot. So now you have a point of inspiration, and maybe you'll live. Capella, you are praying to whose sake for what now?
I am hoping for Aria's strength to come through. And I'm imagining that Aria's strength, like the rushing flow of the water, how I've seen her slam her weapon down before, like how the thunder cracks down with rainstorms.
Oh, oh.
Justice, I'm just praying for that justice to wash over.
All right, you know what? I'll let you make the roll. Roll percentile dice and tell me what the result is.
DJ, where are the percentile dice?
I need all the help I can get.
We're trying.
I was
That's
confident until it began, and now I'm not.
77?
Got this.
You're praying. Okay, guess what time it is, Areia? Initiative.
Okay.
Should we roll initiative just in case?
Nah.
No?
18.
Hey.
Wow. All right, you win. You see him bulging, like veins are popping, like you feel like he's gonna rage.
Uh-huh.
So your turn. Your first move.
Give me 1 second to look up a spell really quickly.
Oh, spells.
Oh, spells.
By the way, Bullstrong, your wife creeps back towards you and she's like, "Stay here. Don't get discovered. The kid's with my mom. I'm going to go watch the fight." And then she runs forward into the crowd.
Okay. So,
Everyone gets to have fun but me, I guess.
first thing I will do is I will. How far away from him am I?
You're in the ring, so you're 25 feet away.
Okay. 25 feet away. Okay. So I will. I'm just trying to pick which spell to use. As a bonus action at first level, I will cast Sanctuary on myself. It lasts for a minute, and until the spell ends, any creature who targets me with an attack must make a wisdom saving throw, and if they fail the save, they either have to choose a new target or lose the attack.
Oh, all right. So that's your action.
Yeah, that's my bonus action.
That's your bonus action.
And
okay,
then for an action, yes, and then for an action, because I can cast another spell as long as it's an action cantrip.
Yeah.
So I cast Sacred Flame on him.
Okay, what's Sacred Flame?
He has to make a dexterity saving throw or take.
He fails.
Okay, so he'll take 2d8 damage.
Okay. Oh, it's on. I wish I could play the Conan fight music, but I'd get copyright tagged.
Okay, that's 11 damage.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, and he hasn't raged yet, so he takes that.
And then I'll make sure that I'm not at the edge of the ring, but I'm staying back from him.
Okay. He rages. He is going to rush up and swing two hands with the great axe of Bullstrong to attack you. Now he has to make a wisdom save.
For if he makes an attack, he has to do a wisdom save against my spell DC, which is...
I'm pretty sure he failed, but go ahead.
Yeah, it was 15.
Yeah, he failed.
Okay. So then he either has to choose a new target or lose the attack.
So he's raged, right? He runs up, he goes to swing, and you see this shock come over his face, and he checks his weapon and stops and backs up. And there's a shock over his face. Your turn.
All right. How close is he then? 5 feet?
He's 5 feet away from you.
All right, party. I'm going to cast at 3rd level. Wait, hold on. Actually, I lied. I'm not. I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And my giant... Actually, no. A giant spectral version of Orc Smasher appears. Same stats, but... And then I'm going to smack him with it, and then I'm going to hit him with the spear.
Okay. Roll Spirit Weapon attack first.
Yes. Let's see what to add. Okay. 16.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. So he will take 12 points of force damage.
So he doesn't take 12 points of force damage. All right. He takes damage. Now you attack with the spear?
Yes.
Okay. Roll your normal melee attack, but it's a +2 to hit and a +2 to damage.
That's a 19 to hit.
Hit.
And then my regular Warhammer damage?
No, 1d8 for the spear,
1d8.
+2, plus
1d8.
your strength bonus.
Yes. That's 8. +2, that's 10 points of whatever damage that is.
Okay. You kind of knock him from one side and then stab him with the spear with another. He will again try to attack you. He fails his wisdom save. How many rounds does this last?
A minute. So what, 9 rounds?
10
10 rounds? Yeah.
Okay, so this is round 2. Virginia, I'm putting you in charge of round counting. This is round 2. He checks his weapon again in shock and is like, "Ah!" And he's just angry. Your turn.
All right. Let me just make a note.
Is this starting round 3, right?
This is the start of round 3.
Okay.
All right.
Hold on. So, And then I can't. Okay. All right. Then I will, since my poking isn't doing as much as I thought it would, I will cast Spirit Guardians at 3rd level. So in a 15-foot radius around me, Spirit Guardians appear. And so his speed is halved.
Okay.
Whenever he enters the area or starts his turn, he has to make a wisdom saving throw. And if he fails, he takes 3d8 radiant damage if he's good, or 3d8 necrotic if he's evil.
Okay.
And if he fails, then he only takes half.
And that's your whole attack?
Yes, that's my action. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to hit him with my Orc Smasher
All right.
spiritual weapon again.
Hit him with the spiritual weapon.
All right. 18.
Yep.
Okay. So then he will take
The crowd is how much?
13 force damage.
Okay. The crowd is losing their minds. They're like, yeah. There's just cheers and people, like there's torches like being waved around and people are screaming with bloodlust. He once again tries to attack you and now must make the first wisdom save, which is a critical fail. So he will not.
Hold on. Wait, time out. I just looked at the chat and somebody corrected me. If I attack somebody, Sanctuary ends.
Oh, all right.
I thought it was if he made the attack.
Okay, well then it ends.
Okay.
There you go. But the spirit friends, what's that spell? He has to make a wisdom save?
Yes.
So he failed that save.
Okay.
So now he has to take 3d6 or 3d8 necrotic damage?
If he's evil. If he's good, then he'll take radiant damage.
He's evil.
Okay, buddy. So he will take... take...
TopoMusicale coming through with the clutch rule save.
Yes, I don't want to cheat. It's 12 radiant damage.
Okay. He attacks. Miss. Miss. He swings twice. Your turn. No more round counting needed, Virginia. Sanctuary's gone.
Okay.
But he's still within your circle. He has not backed down. Swings twice. One swoop over your head, another just across. You kind of you're just ducking, frantically moving out of the way.
Okay. Let's see. I will, in that case, I will attack with my spiritual weapon first. It's a bonus action. Nope, that's a 1. That misses.
Okay.
And then I will, as an action, cast Sacred Flame. So he has to make a dex save.
He does not make it. How much damage?
He takes 13 points of radiant damage.
Okay. Again, the crowd erupts in cheers, and you hear like people saying like, "It is Ayuk," and they're like, "Murmur, murmur, Ayuk is with her." He's like, "Argh!" He once again attacks, fails his wisdom save, so enact your necrotic damage upon him. And that one's going to hit.
That's 14 points of necrotic damage.
Okay, you take 26 points of damage.
1 second. Let me check how much.
He ouches you with the mighty great axe of Bullstrong.
26.
Now I have to do some math. Good thing I have a calculator. That's why I teach English. Okay, you have done 66 damage on him so far. Your turn.
Okay. I will. Let's see. What will I do? I will.
This is the beginning of turn 6. Okay.
Okay, I will attack him with my spiritual weapon. That's 19 to hit.
Yep.
He takes 10 points of force damage.
Okay.
And then as an action, I will cast Cure Wounds on myself at what level do I want to cast that? At 2nd level. So I get oh no, it fell. I get 12 points of hit points back.
Okay. He will attack again and again fails his wisdom save, so you will do more necrotic damage. His first attack is, what's your AC?
1 second, 16.
Miss. Second attack will be a hit.
Okay.
For 17 damage.
17. Okay, I did 18 points of necrotic damage to him.
Okay. Jennie, make a percentile roll as you continue fervently praying.
What did you say the damage was? 17?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask how many hit points you have, Jordan?
Right now, I'm at 34.
You got it.
That's a
23.
good question if I do.
$23?
Yeah.
Okay. Jordan,
Yes.
it's your turn. This is what happens. You guys all, you hear like thunder. And there's a sudden like cold breeze, like wind. Like you see people's torches literally get blown out. The flames from the oil in the circle are like whipping back and forth. Your turn.
Oh, okay. Let me just check the specifics on the spell very quickly so that I make sure I'm doing it correctly. Okay. Seeing that I'm kind of not doing too hot right now, but maybe I am. I will cast, this might be a mistake, but at 4th level, my only 4th level spell, I will cast Guardian of Faith as an action. So a large spectral guardian appears and hovers in my space, or like the space next to me. It's just a sword and a shield with the symbol of Ayuk on it. Any creature hostile to me that is within 10 feet of me on a turn must succeed a dex saving throw or take 20 radiant damage.
Okay. I rolled a 3. He has failed his dex save.
Okay, so he takes 20 radiant damage.
So Magnus, you're on a tent watching this. You feel this wind whip past you. You hear the sound of the flaps. You look up in the sky and you see the like sky is like suddenly very cloudy and overcast. And you see a flash of lightning above the clouds. You look over to the flame, to the fire pit, and you see Areia like conducting some spell. And you see this spectral glow of weaponry appear and strike down on Iron Talon. And Iron Talon's like, oh! He takes 20.
Yes.
And almost immediately after this happens, you see a cylinder appear, not even a cylinder, but just like right behind Iron Talon where he's standing, from the sky, this enormous arc of lightning strikes.
Oh.
And Iron Talon is just like, and you see him just like rip, like just surrounded with electricity, just enveloped in electricity.
Damn.
Yes.
Thanks, Capella. You're the best.
43.
Dude, Busey and Ayuk just like double layered God damage.
And you see, like, literally his flesh has like been scorched. Like there's burn marks all over his body. He falls to like one knee, but he's still alive. And he's like, just, and you notice like his eyes are like glowing green. And even like, it's almost like when you put a flashlight under your hand and you could kind of see the light coming through, you kind of see like green under his skin, like all over his body, as
Like,
if the lightning had somehow illuminated this essence under his body. So it's not just his eyes, like his under his flesh. Your turn.
Wow.
Areia,
Okay.
make a perception check since you're right next to him.
Okay. That is a 10.
You see, as I described, like he's like fallen to a knee, but he still has his weapon in his hand, and he's like 5 feet away from you. And though very wounded, he looks like he's got a lot left in him. But you see, like, not only is his eyes glowing green, but like under his skin, it's almost like a little bit just of a almost like a bioluminescent faint green glow. Your turn.
Okay. Let's see. I will. Do I want to do this now or later? Also, just a clarification. In the spell Sanctuary, it says that if I make an attack or a spell attacks him, that it drops. Does that count towards things that like already have been cast, would you say? Or like if my spirit guardians hit him with the spell drop?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
say that's concluded.
Okay. So bonus action, I will hit him with my spiritual weapon. Just
Okay.
like I want to like under the chin, like uppercut him.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a 16.
Hit.
Okay. That's 14 points of force damage.
Okay. You
And-
knock him back. And he's like, oh, like off his balance. Make another perception check.
Okay. Ooh, not natural 20. Not natural 20.
When you hit him under the chin and it knocks him back, you notice something that you didn't notice before because he was kind of leaning forward. You notice that at about the center of his chest, the glow of green is significantly brighter.
Really like in his heart.
Like basically right around where his solar plexus would be, like where his rib cage meets.
Okay.
What is your action?
After I knock him up and I see that vantage point, I'm going to take the spear and I'm going to jam it right into the spot that I see.
Okay, make the roll.
Come on. That, what did you say to add to it? Strength +2?
Yes,
Okay. That's 17.
that's a hit.
Okay.
Roll damage.
You said 1d8. Ooh,
1d8 plus strength plus 2.
that's plus strength +2. That's 13 points of damage.
Make a percentile roll.
Oh god, okay.
Percentiles.
Just like make a roll.
Okay.
Hold on. Wait.
Oh,
Well, if you rolled, that's fine. What's
Okay.
the roll?
10 on the percentile dice and 2 on the tens dice. So
Okay.
12, I think.
I'm fairly confident that that's more than enough. Something very strange happens. As you jam the spear into this spot in his chest, there is a massive eruption of bright green light, and everyone within 100 feet is blinded, including you. Not only are you blinded, but you are deafened.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
What?
You exploded him. Like. Oh.
As your vision unblurs from the blindness and your hearing begins to come back, you hear a lot of people crying out, and you guys, as you're watching from afar, you see people like wiping their eyes, and they're like, and you yourselves are kind of like blinking and trying to clear your vision, and you're seeing spots. Areia, you are standing over Iron Talon. Your spear is embedded in his chest. He's on the ground, but he's no longer glowing green. The shaman stumbles into the ring of fire, like jumping over the fire, and stumbles into the ring, and he runs over to Iron Talon, and he checks Iron Talon. He stands and he says, Iron Talon is defeated. Areia is the new chief. Your hand is still on the handle of this spear, and it's embedded in his chest. What do you do?
Do
Make
I...
a perception check.
Okay, I was about to ask if I saw
As you're
anything.
blinking your eyes
Oh, wait.
from the spots, from the blindness,
19.
you see something glowing inside of his chest, and the cavity is open. So you're basically looking into where your spear like gouged into his chest. His blood, oozing out like just in gushes. Like he's dead, but it's still just blip, blip, like blood just pumping out of his chest cavity. And you see something like through the blood flow, something glowing green inside of his chest.
Pretty gross.
I kind of like see if I can open it up a little bit with the spear, and then I'll reach in and I'll grab it.
You do. You pull the spear out and you reach in and you see a crystal, very much the same size and facets as the breath of Vem, but this one glows green. And as soon as you touch it, you feel a certain power flowing through you. You feel like a strength, a renewal of strength.
And
Make another percentile roll.
Oh, percentile? Oh boy, oh boy.
Can I start in like a low Goliath voice? Areia, Areia.
Yes, you can. I'll let you make that deception check. Go ahead.
I got an 89.
You feel the power from this thing, but it seems alien to you. But you know that this is the thing of Ayuk. And you hear like the like chant of Areia coming from the crowd, and other people begin to chant Areia, 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 and Varna's like Areia, 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 and people are like holding up their weapons and chanting Areia, and you kind of look around and you see your entire tribe now, the elders, the hunters, the guards, families, everyone is encircled the ring, and they're all chanting Areia, 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 Areia.
Well, as I pull out the stone from his chest cavity, I will, like, as I'm pulling it out and like I'm leaned down there, I'll just say, "That's for my friends," and then I will get up and throw the spear. Not throw it. I'll take it with me to find Unok and my friends.
And that is where we will end this most epic of episodes of the Medusas. Thank you, as always, to all of our friends and subscribers and supporters and patrons for your continued patience and love. We are grateful, and we hope that all of you do well. And we'll see you to find out what happens next on the Medusas. Keep talking because I don't have Carafa and I have to go press the button. So thanks for watching.
Wow.
Yay!
Yay!
Subscribe and click on the